19 hours Pokemon Fire Red, 14 hours Pokemon Heart Gold, 14 hours Pokemon Omega Ruby. Now it's time for Diamond. 5 parts to go. This is it. Let's do it. I now have 53 hours to beat the 5 most recent generations of Pokemon, and today we start with Diamond. My starter options were a Houndour, Jigglypuff, and Drapion. None of them are fantastic, and it's not quite the start that I was hoping for, but I chose Houndour and we move. I then was taught for the 4th time what the buildings were with the red and the blue roofs, because I totally wouldn't know by now. I made sure to get some Pokeballs so that I could get my first encounter, which was an Elekid. I caught it and moved on to be taught how to catch Pokemon.
Are you serious right now, bro?
Now, my second encounter was a Mamoswine, and things were starting to look up as I headed towards Jubilife City. But before I could get there, this kid stopped me and decided to take down 2/3 of my team so that a different kid could take down my last Pokemon soon after. This next run had to be the one. This time I got a Rampardos as my starter, which was immediate power for my team. This time I made it through Jubilife and got into my first rival battle of the game where Rampardos and I destroyed Barry. I then made my way to Rourke, the first gym leader, and my encounter in the cave he was in was a Kabutops, but luck wasn't on my side and I couldn't catch it. After convincing Rourke not to abandon his gym for the boys, I went and ruined his hopes and dreams with Rampardos, tearing through everything Rourke had. I headed back to Jubilife, took down these Samsung Galaxy skins, and after this battle I ran into an Electivire, which could have been an awesome addition, but unfortunately I didn't really want it to join the team anyway. The same thing also happened with this Noctowl. I must smell or something? I don't know what the problem is.
Do you smell it?
Rampardos and I then went on to destroy the planet Mars, and more Samsung Galaxy skins. After doing so, I was rewarded with my first Pokemon other than Rampardos, which was a Pidgeotto that was destined never to evolve. You'll understand later. After making my way through Eterna Forest, I caught a Chingling on the way to Eterna City. As I am determined to make it through this generation within 10 hours, I went straight into the gym to battle Cardenia. If you watched any of the other parts, you know that I was always going to just use Rampardos for this battle. Like, come on, it's the fastest way of beating the gym, and I can train later if I need, it's fine. After defeating Gardenia, it was time to take on Jupiter, which was a bigger target than Mars. See what I did there? However, was also no problem for Pidgeotto and Rampardos. After defeating all the trainers on Bike Road, I went and got my encounter under the bridge, which ended up being a Wurmple. Super useful, right? I then headed into Mount Coronet for the first time where I met Cyrus. I quickly ignored him, got my encounter, which was a Flygon. It's about time I got a Dragon type, speaking of which. A battle after making it out of the cave, Wurmple would evolve into Cascoon. Not that I'm going to use it, and I would catch a Porygon 2 in the grass. In Hearthome City, I went ahead and beat Barry for the 2nd time. Oh, and I also deposited my Chingling and Cascoon, I think just to make space in the party, not really that sure. After leaving Hearthome, I went on into the Pokemon Tower where I caught my first real starter Pokemon of the run, a Mudkip. I then finished the tower and immediately made my way into the 3rd gym. Unfortunately, the footage between gyms 3 and 4 were corrupted, so here, I'll act it out for you. Basically, I defeated Maylene.
Get him, Rampardos. Yeah!
And then caught a Hitmontop. Oh, and I also traveled over to the 4th gym. I made it to the 4th gym with around 49 hours left in the challenge, and I defeated Chuck quite easily. Now, this was once again where some of my more limited Pokemon knowledge would be troubling. I wasn't sure what to do from here, and I flew back to Hearthome to fight the gym. I probably wasted about 10 to 15 minutes trying to figure out where to go. Once I was in the correct place, to the right of Celestic Town, I caught a Cyndaquil, and to the left, I caught a Sandslash, and I cleaned up another Samsung Skin noob. Finally, it was time to head to Hearthome Gym now, and I have my maths and memory tested. There, I'll tell you that much. I defeated Fantina relatively easily with only a minor heart attack when she threw out Zapdos. I then went ahead and ruined Barry's day once again. However, this next gym is one which I consider to be the hardest in the game. I don't know what it is, but always seems to be the Nuzlocke killer for me. Just before we get into this gym, I want to remind you that if you comment on this video, you could have a Pokemon named after you in a future video. Not one of this series, because this is all pre-recorded. I've already recorded all the way to Sword, as a fun fact. But yeah, if you want to have a Pokemon named after you, just leave a comment saying name or something. I did get the gym badge, but not without losing Pidgeotto, Marshtomp, and Flygon in the process. I then went ahead and took on Saturn again, and just before doing so, I lost Porygon too. On the way to fighting Mars, I lost Hitmontop in a double battle, and things were starting to look bad. I could not stop losing Pokemon. That was now 5 essential Pokemon I have lost in the last 15 minutes. If I kept this up, it was all going to be over, and I couldn't lose this run. Otherwise, it would be in serious trouble for the rest of this challenge. May even make it impossible. I narrowly defeated Mars, then headed straight up Mount Coronet to the Snow Town, whatever it's called. Just outside of the town, I caught a Dragonair, which got me the Dragon type, which I so desire. In the gym, Quilava would finally evolve, bringing some more power onto my scarred team. Before taking on Candace, I went and revived Magnemite from a fossil, which nicely balanced my team out. After doing so, it was time. Time to take on the 7th gym leader with a team of Pokemon that has just been rebuilt due to the mass number of losses we had since the last gym. I took down all of our Pokemon thanks to my well-diverse team. I was clear. Finally, I thought the streak of losses was over and I could continue through the rest of the game without failure, because if I wanted to complete the rest of the Pokemon games in the next 45 hours, I could not lose this run. I took down the Galaxy Fortnite skin hideout and went on to the head of the operation. Once again, it was time to fight Jupiter and Mars, but this time Mars thought it would be really funny if she sent out the god of all Pokemon. It's fine, because Rampardos totally had it. I totally didn't almost lose my starter or anything. After beating Jupiter and Mars, Magnemite evolved, and it was time to take on Ninja to be able to catch the desperately needed legendary encounter. Ninja went down, and it all came down to this. I needed a legendary that could get me through this game in at most the next 5 hours. I talked to Dialga, and my encounter was a Latios, which I instantly caught in a Master Ball, and then replaced the HM slave Pidgeotto on my team for it. Latios is a good Pokemon, but would it be enough to carry me over the line for the rest of this game? Straight after this, I easily took down the final gym leader, and it was time for Victory Road. Fortunately, I was getting quite good at not losing Pokemon in these thanks to the last 3 generations and all of the other Pokemon challenges I've been doing. I made it through Victory Road without losing any Pokemon somehow, and before taking on the Elite Four, I evolved my Dragonair. And it was time. Aaron went down. Then Bertha. Flint. But then, while fighting Lucian, I had the biggest loss of the entire game so far. Something that could derail this whole run and ruin it for good. I lost Rampardos, my starter. I managed to defeat Lucian anyway, but losing Rampardos would make this champion fight even harder. This was my one chance to finish the 4th generation of Pokemon on time. If I didn't win this next battle, the challenge would most likely be over. In this fight, Dragonite would have to fill the void left by Rampardos. I couldn't lose again to the champion. That would just be the worst case scenario. She took down Nidorina, Bonsly, Horsey, Ladybug. Okay, hold on. Is this the champion or the first gym? Because what is with these Pokemon? I got very lucky here. Like, I'm not complaining, but come on, give me some content. Something to work with. Belgium went down, and finally, so did the Ninjask. What is that team? Anyway, finally, I had done it. The fastest I had beaten any generation so far. I have now started to regain time back, and I am ready for the 5th generation of Pokemon. But quickly, before you click off the video, here on screen is a music video which I directed from my friend's song, Jack. You may know him from previous videos. Anyway, go check it out, link in the description.
Balance so hard to get your balance. Searching for it against your trapped in the guns of sinners weaving your guns to kill us all. This creature that's two-faced. I know these are drugs.
Thanks guys for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Look at the banner. You can see the next video. Kind of cool.